Greetings, fellow songwriters and seekers, and welcome back to Muse and Measure. If you've not done so yet, please hit the guy on the lotus pedal. That will let the algorithm know that this video is worth watching, and you will get to benefit from all these great questions that I'm getting from viewers like you. I hope you'll send me a question too, because it really is blowing my mind and expanding my own songwriting. I'm really benefiting a lot from thinking about these things that people are asking, and it's helping my songwriting in the process because I'm having to think about my own writing process, and when I go to my songwriting sessions, that is informing it. So like things that I might have been lazy about in the past, where I just rest on my laurels or don't think about because it's been too hard, or it's a blind spot. All of a sudden, I can't get away with it anymore, and it's making me a much more conscious and conscientious songwriter. So thank you for that, and I hope it's a benefit to all of you. All right, Bryce from Syracuse asks a question. When you revise lyrics, what's your first diagnostic question? Do you listen for clarity, rhythm, image, or emotional honesty? And can you show how fixing one of those sometimes weakens another? Okay, very good. So what I look for in my lyrics, first of all, is the image. Is the image interesting? And when I say image, it could be any of the five senses. So if I'm describing a smell, a taste, a touch, something I hear, or something I see, is that an image potent? Is it an interesting image? Does it deliver an emotional impact as well? I like to use the kind of Eisenstein approach, the great innovator of the film, Russian director. He came up with the kind of the language of cinema, where if you want to show someone being hungry, the way to do it is you show a bowl of food on a table, then you show a close-up of somebody's face, and then you show the bowl of food again. And that people make that connection between those kind of juxtaposition of those two images, that's kind of ideogrammic model of delivering some kind of concept, is very effective for people piecing it together, because it's something it's an internal feeling, hunger, right? So you can't show people being hungry without some kind of trick like this of putting those two things together. So I want my images to deliver something in that way. And of course, Ezra Pound picked this up with the Chinese, what are they called? Characters, how they work, putting two nouns together, like virtue would be like a picture of a man and the symbol for a word, so a man who stands next to his word, that idea. And then, of course, the beats take that up by putting nouns together, like hydrogen jukebox. And Bob Dylan, of course, takes that on too. So I think it's an effective method for delivering some kind of clarity in your imagery. And so, does the sensory experience get delivered effectively? And then, once I have a good image, as I'm singing through the song, does the rhythm sound good of the words? Do I need to add syllables? Do I need to take some syllables away in order to make the rhythm interesting, to make it effective, to make it sound cool, to have an interesting thing that happens in the melody that's not too predictable or cliche? So I worry about that. And when it comes to emotional honesty, so I want it to have some kind of heart string that it's connected to, some kind of connection with the emotions, so that it's not just a pretty little image or just a cascade of imagery that I'm just being fancy and poetic, that it actually has some kind of emotional resonancy, that I'm trying to express some emotional state that I'm in through the images that I'm using. So it's a lot to juggle around. So let's just think of a line of a song and see what would happen if you move some things around. So if I say, the dog walked across the street. Okay. So right away, we do have an image of a dog crossing the street, but it's not very interesting, right? So in order to have this have some more juiciness or detail, to make it come alive and be much more interesting, I would say, a dog, an emaciated dog, or a dog, a skin and bone dog crosses the road. And then you can deal with the road. You can say the skin and bone, a dog, all skin and bones, crossed a beat up, ragged, jagged road. So adding more details automatically makes it much more interesting of an image, right? All of a sudden, we have a much clearer picture of this dog crossing the road, but also, you know, it has some emotion to it now. So all of a sudden, this is not just a happy-go-lucky dog wagging his tail crossing the road, which is kind of boring. But all of a sudden, it has something that we feel compassion for this dog. And then by adding all these words, though, then we have to start to worry about the rhythm of it, okay? So you've got to figure out how to sing this and how to say it in a way that's going to fit into your, you know, the chords that you're playing, the rhythm of your guitar or the piano or what's underlying it, the riff that you're playing. And so you've got to kind of play around with, okay, do I need to take some of these words around? So like, skin and bone. Yeah, that doesn't work. Poor dog, all skin and bones, cross a jagged, ragged cobblestone. Okay, that could work, you know, something like that. But it really depends on what you're doing on the underlying and what came before as well. So it is within the context of the song that you've got to figure out the rhythm. And so that's really what I go through with my lyrics is like, okay, so this is what I said. Is it interesting what I said? Does it create a strong image? Or connect to one of the other five senses in a palpable way that someone will actually have an experience when they read these lyrics or hear them? And then does the melody, which is something that wasn't included in the question, does the melody reflect the emotion of what I'm trying to deliver? If I want this dog to be tragic, then I need to have my melody. So I wouldn't go boo doo 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 doo. This is slightly tragic. But doo 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 or doo 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 doo. So I might, you know, draw out some of those things to make it sound even sadder. But sometimes if you have a sad imagery, you can be kind of like deadpan in your melody too, which kind of adds a whole nother layer of emotion, which is kind of like you are so you're so despondent by the state of this dog that you have no feeling anymore, which is makes it even more tragic. This is why art and songwriting is so difficult, because you've got to juggle all these different layers. And, you know, we fail time and time again, but sometimes we hit on something just right and we deliver it just right and we go, aha, that's how it's supposed to be done. And I wish there was a perfect method for like having a little checklist where you can go through and get it right every single time and every line knocks it out of the park. But, you know, it's hard. And so what I would suggest is just to listen to the songwriters you think really do a great job of this, and then take it line by line and look at all the different elements. So if you think that Bob Dylan is the end-all be-all and the best songwriter, take one of his songs that you think is really effective. I'm thinking of Blind Willie McTell right now. See the arrow on the death row. Da, 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 da. Of course, he stole that from the St. James Infirmary song. But go through and like ask those questions that you asked me. The clarity. Are the lyrics clear? Do they present a clear image or a clear sensory experience? Do they have a cool rhythm that is interesting, that is musical, that fits with the song structure so far? You know, so if you have kind of like a very kind of sing-songy feel to it, one with a kind of a set rhythm, is it following that? Or if you have this kind of loose, like riffing rhythm to your lyrics, does it fit with that? And then ask about the emotional honesty. Is it saying something that's true about being a human being or being a sentient being in this world and the experience that we have, whether it's joyful or sorrowful or somewhere else on the spectrum? So all these things that you can ask, and then I think you'll learn a lot. So if, you know, pick a song that you really think is a masterful song and take it line by line and ask all these questions of it and see if they did all those things. And then if they did them, steal their technique and use it for yourself. I don't mean steal the lines, but like, okay, Well, they did this fast-paced rhythm, and they laid out a whole bunch of detail about this imagery, which is really, really, really important for delivering the emotional message. So they really packed the line with a lot of detail. So you can do that in your lyrics. Instead of just saying the dog crossed the road, all of a sudden you've got a dog that's skin and bones with the broken nails, three teeth in its mouth, three tooths. Once you talk enough, it all sounds like gibberish after a while. Peeling skin, been kicked around. There's so many things you can add to that. There's so many details, and then you can describe the road too. Although the road is less important in this because the dog is the character, so the road is just the setting. But you can, you can describe the road in a way that brings about that it's an unforgiving and uncompassionate road that is get done no favors for this dog. All right, well, I'll do some favors to my doggies out there and wrap this up. But I hope that answers your question and gives you some guidance for what to look through for each line. And I think it is good to take a magnifying glass to every single line and ask these questions. You don't want to overwrite, of course, and you don't want to overthink certain things. But if there's lines that you feel just don't work, ask these questions about it. If you feel like a line is working great and it resonates with you and you're like, yeah, that's a great line, leave it alone. That's great. You don't need to worry about it. This is for the lines that are just like, that line is just not hitting the way it's supposed to. Well, ask these questions about it. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for your question. And if you guys like this video, please hit the like button down below. Let the algorithm know that this is worth watching. All right. Best of luck. Take care.